All right, we're going to call the afternoon session of our meeting to order. We will start with the public hearing agenda. Accept proof of publication.
So moved. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Ex parte disclosure, we'll start with Commissioner Lockhart.
I have none. None. It says none.
Okay, but you were about to hand me something, thank you. Commissioner
I have a
DeLaury?
different form, but it still also says none.
Fabulous.
None.
None.
And none. Thank you. We'll go to our esteemed county attorney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will read the rules of engagement for the public hearing process. While the board welcomes comments from all persons with an interest in these proceedings, Florida law requires that the board's decision and quasi-judicial actions be supported by competent, substantial evidence presented to the board during the hearings on the applications. Competent, substantial evidence is such evidence as a reasonable mind would accept as adequate to support a conclusion. There must be a factual basis in the record to support opinion testimony from both expert and non-expert witnesses. Persons presenting testimony may rely on factual information that they present, information presented by county staff, information the applicant presented, or on factual information included in the county staff report to support their testimony. All persons who present written materials to the board for consideration must ensure that a copy of such materials is provided to the clerk for inclusion in the board's record of the proceedings and the official minutes. Madam Chairman.
Thank you. We'll go to item 22. First, we'll have a presentation by staff. Then the applicant, should they wish to speak or present, can do so. Then we'll go to public comment. If there's anyone here that would like to comment publicly, we ask that you fill out a form and turn it in to Ms. Drager up front. Thank you. And now we have Caitlin Apgar, our senior planner. Thank you, Caitlin.
Hey, good afternoon. Caitlin Apgar, Planning and Development Services. The applicant is requesting the approval for a rezone from C2 General Commercial to PD Planned Development for a proposed office and warehouse building on approximately 0.47 acres located on the southeast corner of Division Street and Wells Avenue. The property currently has a zoning designation of C2 General Commercial and a future land use of mixed-use development. This future land use supports the proposed PD Planned Development zoning. The mixed-use development future land use allows for a maximum floor area ratio of 1.0. The applicant is proposing a floor area ratio of 0.2. The property currently exists as a vacant lot. The applicant proposes to develop the site as a trades office with a warehouse component. The warehouse area is accessory to the office use and would exist within the building. The PD proposes sufficient setbacks and buffering between the proposed development and the abutting existing development to the south. The site is currently located within the City of Castleberry's water service area, Seminole County's sewer service area, and outside of any reclaimed water service area. The site will be required to connect to Seminole County's water and sewer systems. Prior to development, the property will be transferred to Seminole County's water service area during the final engineering stage to ensure both water and sewer services are provided by the same utility provider. The property proposes access onto Division Street, which is classified as a local road. A minimum of 25% open space is provided on site. The proposed development is consistent with the PD criteria as stated in the following slides and staff report. As a summary, the benefits of this development include the provision of the expected reduction in vehicle miles traveled per household, new multimodal connectivity through sidewalk connections and bicycle parking, and innovative development via the integration of trades office and warehouse uses. The PD proposes more than the required tree plantings via the additional buffer provided on the south side and minimizes transportation impacts by promoting accessibility. Consistency with the comprehensive plan is achieved through the projected comprehensive plan policies on the slide. The property is a new single-use, non-residential development proposing office and very light industrial uses. In order to develop the property as proposed, the applicant is required to rezone to planned development in accordance with the Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Policy 4.2.2F6, as the property is a new development on a non-residentially zoned lot. The proposed building facade is oriented to the west to provide direct pedestrian access and a sidewalk connection to the existing network, thus meeting the walkable intent of the future land use. Staff finds the proposed PD plan development zoning classification to be consistent with the comprehensive plan. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on December 3rd, 2025, and voted unanimously to recommend the Board of County Commissioners adopt the ordinance. Staff requests the Board of County Commissioners adopt the ordinance enacting a rezone from C2, General Commercial, to PD Plan Development for proposed office and warehouse building on approximately 0.47 acres located on the southeast corner of Division Street and Wells Avenue.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sapgar. Are there any questions of staff? Would the applicant like to make a statement? If you would, give us your name and address for the record.
Johnny Herbert, American Civil Engineering, 207 North Moss Road, Winter Springs, Florida. I'm here as the applicant's civil engineer. Should any questions need to be answered regarding the site layout, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any public comment?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. This is Commissioner Lockhart's district. Commissioner Lockhart?
Yep. If there are no other questions and the board is ready, I would like to make a motion based on staff's findings and the testimony and evidence received at the hearing today that we find the request meets the identified portions of the Seminole County Land Development Code and recommend and adopt the requested rezone from C2 to PD and approve the associated development order and master plan development.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here, sir. Our next item is item 23, Vantage Bank Special Exception. This will be presented by Annie Silloway, our principal planner. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Annie Silloway, Principal Planner with Development Services. The applicant is requesting a special exception to reinstate the operation of a bank on the subject property located at the corner of State Road 434 and East Lake Brantley Drive on approximately 1.52 acres. The property has a future land use of office and OP office zoning, which allows for the use of a bank if approved via a special exception. The property was originally approved for a special exception to operate as a bank by the Board of Adjustments on September 17, 1984. In 1996, the Board of Adjustments approved a special exception to reinstate the bank use after the facility had been vacant for more than 180 days, causing the previous special exception to expire. No site improvements are being proposed at this time, and the existing building will be reoccupied as a bank. The site has two existing access points. Primary access is from State Road 434, and the secondary access is from Lake Brantley Road. Based on staff's analysis of the special exception criteria, the reinstatement of the proposed use is not detrimental to the character of the surrounding area and is consistent with the existing development patterns. The area to the north and west consists of residential professional office uses, and there is an existing bank establishment across the street on the west side of Lake Brantley Drive. The request complies with the additional use standards criteria for sites located in the OP office zoning district, and the use is compatible with the low-intensity nature of the zoning district, has established access to urban services. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on December 3rd, 2025, and voted unanimously to recommend the Board of County Commissioners approve the request. Staff finds the request meets the identified portions of Section 30.3.1.5, Special Exceptions of the Seminole County Land Development Code. Therefore, staff requests the Board of County Commissioners approve the special exception and the associated development order to allow the use of a bank in the OP office zoning district. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Do we have the applicant here?
Yes.
Would you like to speak, sir? Please give your name and address for the record.
Hi, Greg Nowak with Vantage Properties, 400 Caroline Parkway, St. Petersburg, Florida. I just am here, and if there was any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you for being here. Welcome to Seminole County. Is there any public comment?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. This is Commissioner Constantine's district.
If there are no questions, then I will move the Board of County Commissioners approve the special exception on the associated development order to allow the use of a bank in the office zoning district on approximately 1.52 acres located at the corner of State Road 434 and East Lake Brantley Drive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Long trip.
Wouldn't have gone that way if you didn't come. We'll move on to item 24. This will be presented by Mr. Jex. This is, I feel compelled to say Happy New Year, because we know it's the new year when you come for this item.
Yep. Thank you very much, Commissioners. I'm Timothy Jex with the Office of Management and Budget. Item 24 is our annual grant and project carry forward BAR. This is a budget amendment that will carry forward available balances of approved projects from last fiscal year 25 and reappropriate them in the current fiscal year 26. This item was advertised on Friday, January 9th on the county's website. Last year, the approved budget included a total of 835 projects that fall under the categories shown here. Of that, 140 projects were completed and 695 are being carried forward. Any remaining budgets from completed projects is being returned to reserves. The total amount of the BAR is $516,686,432. In the darkest blue section of the chart, you see the grant carry forward of $94.2 million. This includes grants in our Community Services Department, who administers the county's housing assistance programs. We also have the Septic to Sewer Grant, Midway Drainage Grant, and Public Safety Grants administered by our Fire Department and Emergency Management. Next, we're carrying forward $100.6 million in bond funding issued for the court phase of our 5 Points Development Project. Remaining funds are primarily associated with the renovation to the Criminal Justice Center. In the sales tax program, we're carrying forward $101.6 million across 168 active projects. Next, we have enterprise funds, which include water utilities and solid waste capital programs, where we're carrying forward $108.5 million across 190 projects. In the fire department, we're carrying forward $43.2 million related to new fire stations, renovations, and fleet replacement. In our general fund, we're carrying forward $11.2 million, primarily associated with projects in support of the Seminole County Sheriff's Office and our facilities department. And finally, we're carrying forward $21 million in projects from other restricted funds, including the building program, tourism, and countywide donations. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. We'll go to public comment.
None.
Thank you. Commissioners, any discussion needed? I'll look for a motion.
Move to approve and authorize the chairman to execute a resolution implementing budget amendment request BAR number 26-008 in the amount of $516,686,432 to carry forward available balances for existing projects, grants, associated revenues, and assign 25-26 beginning fund balances. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. All right, we have sped right through to the county attorney's report.
Oh, we're going to speed right past it because I do not have a report today. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, it's a good day. That is a good day. Unless you had any good news for us on settlements. Other than that, no report is a good report. County manager.
Well, I won't speed through mine, and it's still a good day, and I have some exciting news. And if you would allow me, I would like to invite Chief Kinley up. We have some great news with the fire department with our recent accreditation that I'd like him to announce.
Good afternoon. For the record, Matt Kinley, Fire Chief, Seminole County Fire Department. As County Manager Darren Gray said, some great news. As you know, you have one heck of a fire department. From the boots on the ground, running into fires, providing medical services, prevention, all the way to those unsung heroes that take the 911 phone calls. Very stressful job. As you also know, we've been working towards accreditation within the comm center. And we were just recently told by the International Academies of Emergency Dispatch that we have achieved our ACE accreditation, Accredited Center of Excellence status. It's a big deal. Like all the accreditations, it's always about seeking that improvement, that continued excellence, being on the cutting edge of doing everything that is new and right to knock those seconds off because they matter so much. Makes it even extra special. There's about 65 agencies internationally that have this accreditation, about 15 in the state of Florida, but it would appear that we are one of one to not only hold ACE accreditation, but ISO 1, CFAI fire accreditation, CAS accreditation. We're it.
Congratulations.
So on behalf of the men and the women of the Seminole County Fire Department, I just want to thank the County Manager's Office, the Board of County Commissioners for your continued support. It's very evident that you've made public safety a priority in this community, and it shows. Thank you.
Good work. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate everything that you and your team do, and it is our responsibility to support you in those efforts. So congratulations, well recognized. We have bragging rights for at least a period of time until somebody else chomps up there,
That's
but
right.
maybe it'll be a long while.
I dare them.
Well, it would be good for everyone.
Yes. Thank you.
And just icing on the cake, we will be opening Fire Station 39. I promise you all. That has been, actually, we're operating out of there now. The ribbon cutting is set for February the 4th at 10 a.m., and we'll make sure, I'm sure that's already at your offices, but we'll ensure that it's on your calendars as well. That's all I have.
That's all you have. All right. That brings us to board appointments. I think the board appointments were all shared in advance in detail, so I will take a motion if it is acceptable for all of them at once.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. That brings us to the district reports. Commissioner Zimbauer, you are first on the agenda.
Well, that doesn't happen very often. Not lately.
Happens every sixth time, I think.
That's right. A lot of things. I attended the St. Lucia event and emceed that event on behalf of the county's Historical Commission on December 13th. Great turnout. People from all over Central Florida were there. It was a very good event. Also received a call from a resident in Altamont Springs that was very, very thankful to our fire department. She had some grandchildren or children that were locked in a car at the ballet studio, and she couldn't thank us enough for how quickly the fire department showed up and was able to get into the car and get the children freed. So again, Chief, good work on behalf of our firefighters. You know, we always say our firefighters, when nobody else in the county has a job title to do something, the firefighters always do it, whether it's cut a tree down out of the road or whatever it might be.
Haul a cow out of a
That's right.
mud pit.
Or chase the emu across my district. The Scottish Highland Games are this Saturday and Sunday, 17th and 18th, at Central Winds Park. Good event. I know Commissioner Lockhart will likely be there, and several of the others will be. I unfortunately will not make it because this is hunting season, and I will be in the woods, playing Scottish games in the woods. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration and prayer breakfast will be in Oviedo on the park. That's this Saturday. Oviedo's American Legion post flag education and retirement will be also January 17th, this Saturday, from 8 to 2 p.m. Also, the Jurassic Jog 5K will be in Oviedo at the mall Sunday on the 18th, starting at 8 a.m. January 31st, the Couplet Fern folks are having their annual sale of their plants. That'll be over at the museum on Esslinger Way at 9 a.m. till noon. Seminole County Gun and Archery Association had 90 participants complete the club-sponsored FWC Youth Hunter Field Day classes in 2025. They also have 2 new instructors certified over there. The next class is scheduled for February. Bill, thank you and your folks very much for getting our young folks involved and getting them the classes and the schooling they need for FWC. Good work. Also have a request for the commissioners to write some letters on behalf of Honor Flight Central Florida. I'll circulate that to y'all's office, so you'll have all the details on that as well. I also want to take a minute and recognize, I know we all got this memo back in December, and this is our 2026 property and casualty insurance renewal detail. And I want to thank Mr. Gray and Lori Bailey Brown for saving the taxpayers almost $400,000 in the renewal. So as you can see, for the public's intake, we continue to have staff looking for savings across the county, and $400,000 is $400,000. That's playground equipment for kids at a park. It's other things that we can do in libraries, and so know that your people here working for you are trying to find any and every savings they possibly can. With that said, that concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Zimbauer. Commissioner Constantine.
Thank you very much, and just a few things. First of all, the last day of the Central Florida Zoo Asian Lantern Festival will be the 18th of this month. It has already broken records with the number of different tickets, or number of tickets sold, and I urge all of you that have not done it yet to get out there, and it's a beautiful festival, and it's become a iconic here in Seminole County, and it is the #1 fundraiser for the Central Florida Zoo each year. Also, I had the privilege of being the judge for the Sanford Chamber throwdown for the chili and chowder cook-off this past week. I brought my Tums with me, and I will just say that it was a lot of fun, enjoyable, always good to see the chambers, whichever one, we have a number of them here doing such a good job. And the Sanford, my choice for the best chili was the Sanford Fire Department. And for chowder, it was the Harley-Davidson group, and it was done at the Harley-Davidson. I will tell you, though, that, and I found this out, the chili that you're used to is the one that you always pick. You know, your mother's chili. No matter all the good chilies, it always seems, every time I do this, it's the one that's closest to my mother's chili that I pick. Also, I did want to say that St. Mary Magdalene, which is one of the largest parishes and churches that we have here in Seminole County, and especially in Altamont Springs, is having, after a couple of years hiatus, their winter festival on the 23rd and the 24th of January. Welcome you all out there if you can. And other than all the other things that Commissioner Zimbauer had said, and I'm sure others, I'm not going to say everything, that is all I have.
Well, I hope that St. Mary Magdalene has red candied apples, because that is the only reason I go to all these festivals. So I wrote that one down. I know you were looking and wondering why I was writing that down, so I thought I'd answer the question. District 4, Commissioner Lockhart.
Do you
your
think we
report.
can still do red? Can we, like, red dye number 40? Is that still a thing?
I think
That's a good
I think I have
Sure.
some time. I think there's some time.
Okay, all right, I worry about that. You know, like Fruity Pebbles, is it still going to be as bright? Was it going to taste the same? I don't know. Anyway,
Things to think
the
about.
things you ponder in a county commission
Yeah,
meeting.
mine is Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries.
Yeah. Jeez. So Happy New Year, obviously. It's amazing how quickly we went from Thanksgiving to Happy New Year. It seems to go by faster and faster every year. So I hope everybody did have a wonderful time with family and friends and got to take some breaks, because things are ramping up very quickly here in 2026. We did hold a Rosenwald Community Project meeting at Millwee Middle School middle of December, which was great. There was a great turnout. Our team, staff, and consultants did a wonderful job of representing the project, answering questions. The reality is, because this project has gone on for so long, the community is still wary, with good reason, and concerned that we are actually going to fulfill what it is that we said we were going to fulfill. And they are very, very, they are happy, they are excited, they're cautiously optimistic at this point, I would say, that this is going to come to fruition. And they have some overarching concerns about their community and the preservation of their community. And with Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday coming up and being celebrated this next week, I think it's important to mention one of their biggest concerns is gentrification. And you all have received some emails, I believe, in your offices to that effect from one of the members of that community who grew up there. They are an incredibly historically knowledgeable community. They understand and know and remember and continue to talk about what has happened to them in the past, and they will not forget it, and they will not let us forget it, and they are not going to put themselves in a position to have it be repeated. So I have seen those emails that you've received. Ms. Johnson and other members of our team interact with members of that community regularly. Anyone can give you a briefing or an update on those concerns in your offices, I'm sure, so that you can understand the depth of those concerns, and I think there's some founding to them. So yesterday, I had a virtual meeting with a company called Moliar. They do water quality treatment with nanobubbles. And I have never heard the phrase nanobubbles before. And so it was very enlightening, and I've put them in touch with our water quality team and our lake management team to talk about the potential of doing some type of a pilot project or what have you. It's a completely new to me way of understanding how we can better manage water quality issues, especially when we have emergency algal blooms or things like that that affect and impact our citizens' ability to access and enjoy water in our community. So it was very, very, if they reach out to you, I think it's Corker and Partners is the group that's representing them. If they want a meeting, it was very, very informative. I would encourage you to take that meeting as well. Also want to say that the Florida Association of Counties is having their legislative days in Tallahassee next week, and I think some of us will be attending that. It's always a good opportunity to meet with other commissioners from other counties and meet with our legislators. Of course, we see them all the time, even when they're not in session, but it's good to go up there and give them support when they're in the trenches and thank them for all that they do. And so that'll be a great opportunity next week. And also want to let you all know about a resignation that we had on the Historic Commission. My appointee, Tyler Winnick, has submitted his resignation to me, and I will be looking for a replacement for him. So that is all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Lockhart. Commissioner DeLaury?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Two quick things. I know that Commissioner Zimbaugh spoke about the Martin Luther King Day Parade in Oviedo. I just want to make sure everybody's aware that it's changing a little bit this year. It normally starts at Oviedo High School and goes down to Round Lake. This year it's starting at Round Lake and it's finishing up at Center Lake. So if you go to the Oviedo High School to see the beginning of the parade, it will not be there. So if you go to Round Lake, that's where it'll be starting, and it'll finish at Center Lake. So just FYI. I also wanted to thank the staff for their hard work on the ECNL games. The boys played at the end of the year, going over New Year's, I believe it was, and the girls just finished up this week. I went to the fields this past Saturday, spoke to several people. Everyone had such wonderful things to say about the event. So Guy, I know Guy is in the audience, please pass on our thanks to the great job that Danny and his team is doing, as well as, I don't see Rick Durr and his team, but they also play a part of it, as well as other staff people. People talked about how the fields were very green and how they're pristine, so to speak, and how this is one of the highlights that they have all years come down here, not just to Central Florida, but to Seminole County. They say our staff does such a phenomenal job. It's a pleasure to come down here to be in the warm weather, depending upon where they come from. Most of them come from up north, and play a couple of days worth of soccer. So I just wanted to thank everyone. I know the hotels are very thankful because it was more teams this year than we had in the past, and good job to everyone. So thank you. That is the end of my report.
Thank you. For the District 5 report, I did attend the OEP Chair's holiday reception. It was thrown by Tracy Stockwell and the team. She's the CFO of Universal Orlando. It was a lovely event. I think I probably passed Commissioner Constantine somewhere on the street. I was an early attendee. He came in a little later, so we didn't get to socialize, but it was lovely. I'm going to give a shout out to the county team and the City of Lake Mary team for pulling together on very short order a wonderful celebration for the Lake Mary gentlemen that were here this morning that won the state championship. That was no easy feat, but it really was a great celebration. And on to stuff that's actually less exciting than that, but probably more meaningful. This is a report out from my first airport meeting, and OEP hired Burns and McDonald, and they're going to do a mock review of a prospective economic development selection process for the airport. The outcome will be a site readiness report, including a SWOT analysis, and it will better able the airport to prep for future opportunities. I thought it was remarkably interesting and something that we may want to consider in the future. And then the last one is really mundane, super mundane, but it can create a lot of wrinkles in the operation. We just want to get it out there that my office is picking up the mail. The mail gets picked up every day. Mail that is labeled for an individual commissioner is delivered to the individual commissioner unopened. Mail that comes in to the board is handled accordingly. So we have it nailed. Don't worry about it. We don't need what's happening is occasionally somebody will go down there and grab all of it, and then we miss the submissions process. So there's your heads up on mail. I never thought I'd be talking about such a thing. Yeah.
So interesting dynamic with the mail. So I had a certified letter sent to me at this office, although it was related to Seminole State College responsibilities. I guess this was the address that people found online. And it arrived to me opened. Somehow it managed to wind up in the clerk of the court's office. Someone at the clerk's office opened the certified mail. And then a couple of weeks later, it made its way to my office. So I think there are mail issues, just for whatever that's worth, not
Understood.
Not among us.
I'm not taking it that way.
Yeah. But
Sounds like we need a mail etiquette deal go on.
Well, and we've tried very hard since it was certified to figure out who signed for it.
Sure.
But that the piece that gets sent back to the sender has not been received by the sender yet. So maybe it's just the mail that's problematic. But just be aware that just because someone sends mail to you at this location doesn't mean your office is the one getting it or opening it. So for
But the clerk's office brought it to you?
It was sent to my office eventually, yes.
Which I guess is the good news at the end of that story.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm going to keep going.
Good job.
I'm going to keep going. Darren and I did have a preliminary prep for the budget sessions that are coming up. The team had a meeting, just like they did last year. The constitutionals were included this year. The reason I'm bringing that up is that I would like to send a letter to the constitutional officers prepping for what we expect in terms of the budget this year. That draft will be shared with all of you. The concept behind this is that instead of being disappointed that it didn't come in the way we expect it, let's try to get the expectation set up front so that we can maybe shorten this process, make it a little less painful. We went through so much last year that creating a little bit of a new order of operation on this might be beneficial. So be on the lookout for a draft for that. And then the last note is I'm going to give a shout out to the Animal Services team because over the holidays, we did manage to, we were in the process of adopting 2 beautiful doggies from there. Don't panic, I'm not over the number. My sister promptly took one from me because she fell in love with it minute one, and then there was a backfill opportunity. So, but the team over there can't be more helpful, and it was a wonderful experience. It really was a wonderful experience.
So what is this new addition's name? Does it have a name yet?
Brandy Alexander, because she looks like somebody spilled the drink on her head. And you know I like middle names, so that when we go to the vet says, Brandy Alexander, her? Can't just have an average name. She does not answer to it, nor does she do anything else yet that we want her to do. And that concludes it does not conclude my chairman's report. I do want to call your attention to, there was a large document that was sent to our offices. I didn't bring copies of it. You all have it electronically. It looks like this. So shout out to David Johnson for sharing this document with us. If you have not looked at this,
Yes.
you will feel really good about us when you do.
I actually looked at that. Florida Associations of Counties had a similar document that I went through early on last year. But
Right.
yeah, it's very telling. This is broken down much better.
This is broken down in much more detail, and you will be seeing a handout that will be created that will be timed with our State of the County. So this will be the meat of that discussion.
I sent mine to Bill Hyde.
He didn't hear you.
That concludes my chairman's comments, unless anybody has any questions. Dominique, is there any public comment?
Yes, ma'am, there's one speaker, Chris Peterson.
Mr. Peterson, this will be comment not related to anything that was on the agenda. Name and address for the record.
Yes, Chris Peterson for Fortify, 800 Waterford Way, Miami, Florida. I'm here to give a brief update about the recent Supreme Court decision regarding the FPFA, the Florida PACE Funding Agency, and several of the counties and tax collectors around the state. So back in October of '22, there was a judicial bond validation in the Second Circuit, which allowed the Florida PACE Funding Agency to operate statewide. There was pretty significant pushback on that decision, and that was appealed by several of the county attorneys and tax collectors. During that time, we actually stopped doing business after we got the pushback. We realized that this wasn't the right way to do business in Florida. We turned around and fought for SB 770, which included a home rule provision that passed in July 1st of 2024. And so moving forward, everything has to have an ILA. However, after the appeal, there was a rehearing that was not favorable for the counties. Then that went to the Supreme Court, and that ruling came in just before Christmas, and it did uphold the lower court ruling, which does specifically state that those assessments during that particular period of time need to be collected by the tax collector as part of the uniform method of collection as part of his ministerial duties. So that is very clear. I have a copy of this, happy to leave it with the clerk if you'd like to see it. We have reached out to get an answer of whether the Supreme Court ruling will be upheld here in Seminole, and I have not heard back from a tax collector yet. Many of the counties have already indicated they're going to put these on the tax roll. At this point, it's a pretty interesting use of taxpayer dollars to continue fighting this after 3 different attempts to try to overturn it. And the fact that it's been solved legislatively. Like statutorily, we can't do this without home rule anymore. So we're not going to. If counties don't want us in here, that's fine. We won't come in. But, when we were forced to direct a bill, we got a little bit over 50% of people paid anyway, even though it wasn't on the tax bill as we agreed, as was supposed to be part of the deal. So really spending taxpayer dollars to continue pushing these folks, there's 40% that haven't paid, we're looking at 3 years of back payments at this point. That's pushing it into dangerous territory. We want to avoid further issues. We want to put this behind us and just move on. That's our goal. So my goal, again, today was to give you this update and come to you and make sure everybody understands where we're at. And if there's any discussions we want to have, we can direct them to the FPFA. And again, all of us want to just put this behind us. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate your comments. Did you have a leave behind?
I do. I have these for you here. Thank you, Chair. There's, how about 5? 6? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Lockhart?
To the county attorney, is this an item that you are aware of? Can you give any other additional feedback?
Yes, Commissioners, I'm familiar with the Supreme Court case he just covered. I take no issue with his summary of it. My only comment in response would be that my office is not representing the tax collector in those cases. He has retained outside counsel for anything PACE-related. So I'm not familiar with whether the tax collector, what his decision is now that that Supreme Court case came out at the very end of the year. So it doesn't really involve this board making a decision at this point, so I would just say that for the record.
Fair. Any other comments? Seeing none, I believe we're at the end of our agenda. Meeting adjourned. Great meeting. Thank you all for all of your help today.
Thank you.